Warning: the following video contains content intended for older audiences, mainly teens and adults. Viewer discretion is advised. January 29th, 2002. The Palms Hotel sat quietly in the heart of downtown Jacksonville, Florida. Inside of one of its dimly lit rooms, a haunting discovery was made. 57-year-old Richard Otis Morrison was found dead. His personal belongings were missing, suggesting a robbery. Detectives worked tirelessly, interviewing residents, chasing leads, and piecing together what little evidence that they were able to gather, but every trail faded into silence. Days became weeks, weeks turned to months. The case grew cold. For 17 long years, there were no suspects, no arrests, no justice. Then, in February of 2019, everything changed. Kenny Lee Maxwell, who had been just 24 years old at the time of the crime, walked into the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office at the age of 41. Without hesitation, he said he wanted to confess. He described a robbery that spiraled into violence, a struggle that ended with Richard's death. He gave details that only the killer could have known. And now, we turn to his interrogation, a rare glimpse into the mind of the man who stepped forward to claim responsibility of a murder that remained unsolved for nearly 2 decades.
Like I said, we're just getting here. We're briefed a little bit by the other detectives. Apparently you want to tell us about something pretty serious. So before we talk to you, question you, I want to go over your rights with you, okay?
I understand.
You cool with that? Can you read and write?
I can.
Okay. What I want to do is, if you would, right now we're at 501 East Bay Street, which is the Police Memorial Building here in Jacksonville.
All right.
Today's date's 2/21 of 2019, up at 22:23. Basically, it's 10:23 in the evening. All right.
Okay.
Do me a favor and just read that top line for me out loud.
Yeah, the following rights under the United States Constitution.
Okay. What I'll do, I'm going to read the rest of these to you, okay? You do not have to make a statement or say anything. Do you understand that?
I understand.
Okay. Anything you say can be used against you in court. Do you understand that?
I understand.
Okay. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before you make any statement or before any questions are asked of you, and to have the lawyer with you during any questioning. You understand that?
I understand.
You cannot afford to hire a lawyer. One will be appointed for you before any questioning if you wish. You understand that?
I understand.
Okay. If you do answer questions, you have the right to stop answering questions at any time and consult with a lawyer. You understand
I
that?
understand.
Okay. What I need you to do is just put your initials out by each one of those I've read. That indicates that I've read those, you understand them, then I need your signature down there. You okay talking with us?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. You go by Kenny, right?
I do.
Okay. I guess best way to go at it, you just tell us, let me know what your story is, what's
It
going
was
on.
I'll tell you how it started. How I even came here,
Okay.
but keep it short. I was working for myself as a subcontractor and independent, just low key, doing drywall work, whatnot. I got some work and I ended up staying in Middleburg. Y'all was doing the Blue Cross Blue Shield here then, and I got into drugs real bad, and I started in. Ultimately, I ended up experimenting with ecstasy, meth, and I got hooked on crack, which I kind of had that habit right before I got here, and it was getting bad. That's why I ended up taking off. And well, anyways, when I got here, it just went full fledged, and I ended up totaling out my car. I had 99 grand down, and I ended up totaling it out on the other side of Middleburg, and then I ended up getting a traffic violation, and they locked me, or they locked me up for driving on suspended license or whatnot, and tried to do the little role where somebody stole my car or whatnot, and but anyways, my son was just fixing to be born, or he was born then. He was 2, and he had a car seat in the back. Well, anyways, and when my wife come here to get the property out, I guess she told on me, which was, I don't know, but I ended up going to jail, and then
Was it jail here in Jacksonville or down in Clay?
it was in Clay County,
Clay.
and
Okay.
on the other side of Orange Park.
Okay.
Well, anyways, I bonded out, and I ended up getting out. I only stayed a few days in jail. Well, anyways, and I ended up, I guess, coming back or whatever, or staying in Middleburg, and I ended up getting kicked out from over there, and then lost my job. Started working for another guy, and then lost that job. Well, anyways, somehow I ended up making my way downtown Jacksonville. I was staying at the homeless shelter. Some nights, half of the time I don't even know how I did it. I've been homeless since then, but I spent most of the nights just walking around. I guess walking around. Everything seems a little foggy, but I mean, I remember the incident, what happened, and everything. But anyways, like I said, I started. I mean, even selling my shoes that was on my feet, and anyways, I ended up running across some people that was doing checks and check fraud, and I ended up getting caught up with them guys, and which that was a little bit later. I didn't mean jump to that, but it
No,
just.
you're fine.
Well, anyways, so I met up with these guys, and I started doing like little check frauds or whatever, cashing checks, going into the bank. I guess they would have me to open up a banking account, and which ultimately I ended up doing time for that. And then
Time here in Jacksonville or DLC?
Not here. I ended up getting caught up in Waycross, Georgia. We was headed towards New Orleans. Is where we was going to end up going.
Okay.
And we all got stopped, and the 2 people that was actually behind it, they ended up bonding out. I never seen them again, but then I heard that I guess they was under federal. They ended up getting the feds, or whatever, got them. Well, anyways, so me and Gary Anthony Wade, this is the guy that was on this case.
Okay.
Which I kind of Googled him, not because I wanted to be around him. I just kind of wanted to see the status of of like this case. And anyways, evidently he's did this again, and he's locked up right now for
in state of Florida or where?
Actually, I think it's up north somewhere.
Northeast, northwest, or
I'm pretty sure if you just Google his name, it'll come right up. But anyways, he killed somebody, and they found him in a closet or whatever, a female. But anyways, just back to this case. Well, I got caught up with this guy, and
this guy being Gary.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we both started smoking crack and everything else, and partying, and I guess when we all ran out, we came up with the. I don't even really know how it came about, but anyways, we was going to just rob this guy, and or we was going to rob somebody at the beginning. We didn't know.
You just want to rob someone, just don't know who.
I guess.
Okay.
And well, anyways, and then he told me about this racist guy, white guy, and He said it was his manager, building manager, or maybe his landlord or something. I know he was like a manager
So
there.
Gary Wade, is he a blackmailer?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, anyways, at that age, because we're talking about 17 years ago. At that age, you know, I guess I fell in that suit like a lot of I guess younger white guys do. They try to impress.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Well, anyways, and trying to be something that they wasn't. Well, anyways, I never robbed anybody before, and not to the extent of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, it was just gonna be a simple robbery, and I guess we was gonna try to tie him up or whatever, get away or whatever, and I guess have all the money that we can go and get high with or whatnot. Well, it didn't work out that way. Well, when it happened, he went and knocked on the door. This guy, I just heard the voice behind the door, and I heard him talking. And the next thing I know, I heard the rumble, you know, and they were. He started. I guess they were fighting or whatever, or you know, he jumped on him. He didn't give him the opportunity. But anyways,
Who's he?
Gary
Gary?
Wade, Anthony Wade.
Mhm.
Well, anyways, so I opened the door. I made my way in, and I remember grabbing the guy, I guess around his neck, and took him to the bed. And I guess I don't know if it was because you know I try to replay this over and over, and I don't know if it was to the fact that I was scared that I wouldn't and I couldn't let go, or what the deal was. But anyways, I choked him to the point where he wasn't moving no more. Gary never touched him after that.
What was Gary doing prior to you grabbing him by the throat?
I have no idea.
Okay.
He was rambling through the rooms or whatever.
I got you.
And, you know, I try to remember, you know, it's like, I can remember what I did. And it's like, you know, but it comes back in flashes. I know I didn't let this man go until he was not moving no more. And I was so scared that he would start breathing, start moving again. So I tied him up.
What did you used to tie him up with?
Socks.
Okay.
I think that was socks. I'm pretty sure it was. Anyways, I hogtied his feet, and then I ended up bounding his wrists together, and then I guess his hands to his feet, and then I think I wrapped something around his neck to ensure that he wouldn't breathe anymore.
What room was this? You mentioned on a bed or something. Was it a bedroom?
It was like an apartment complex, and it was like I can't remember if it was upstairs or downstairs. There was a lot of people that lived there, but it was right there on Florida Avenue.
Florida Avenue.
You sure it was Florida Avenue?
I'm positive.
And I have to ask you, but why are you positive that's Florida?
I have no idea.
Can you describe the building?
Well, we went up the stairs. I can't can't. I remember going like up the stairs. I remember I got called in here, and I'm pretty sure unless you got a lot of these rooms right here, this is the exact same room that y'all brought me to then. But there was a guy with the beard, older guy, a real nice fellow, and had a little bit, a lot bigger than you and me.
Mm-hmm.
Is he tall?
And he could have been, I think so. But anyways, kind of looks like Santa Claus, kind of. But anyways, he questioned me about this.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, they didn't ever say nothing about a homicide or anything. And I thought I was just so smart, back then.
Yeah.
And that, but a lot of what I told him was the truth. I was adopted, and I don't know if he was. Me personally, if I was sitting on the other side of that camera, I would have recognized, something that just wasn't right, and especially the story. But 17 years later, here I am, and there's no warrant for my arrest, and but regardless, when I got out this last time, I went to jail or prison, and I wanted to change my life, Anyways, I ended up getting baptized and started. It was slow. I messed up a couple times, and then I got it right. 2 years I've been clean and sober, and this, regardless, everybody in my family, and even whenever I told my son and their mom, they keep telling me not to do this. Whatever you do, don't, And hopefully my son can see, regardless, the laws are in state for a reason. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I believe in the laws and justice, regardless of how much time. I spent most of my life behind the walls.
Yeah.
But, regardless, I'm no exception. You understand? And I want my son to see that,
Gotcha. The guy that you attacked, can you describe him? Do you remember his name or anything?
I think he was an older guy. He was white, and I do not know his name.
Okay. Remember what color hair? Or
I don't.
Okay.
And that's sad part about it. I try to replay this over and over in my mind. And like I said, bits and pieces just keep coming back to me, and it's like, and sometimes I think that I'm overthinking things or whatever, but I know for sure, what I told you is what happened. I know he got in an altercation with the guy, and he was making too much noise. And I went in there and I shut the door as quick as I could, and I grabbed them to keep the neighbors, and because the neighbor came and knocked on the door while we were in the room.
And this is at an apartment complex.
And we just stayed.
Was it an apartment or was it a big house?
It was like a big house that had
like a boarding house,
like something like that.
Something
Maybe
like
a transitional center or
something.
Remember
what color
like that.
The house was?
I don't. I think I want to say it had like brick columns or white. It was white, maybe with brick columns. Maybe I could be wrong. And they had a check-in desk. Well, anyways, and that's evidently the lady that was working the day that I ended up getting picked up. Well, anyways, me and Gary. Well, anyways, she seen, because I guess there was reports from, because they questioned a lot of people. I'm supposing that this is how it went. They found out what happened, realized that, what happened to this man, and they probably started asking questions throughout the building. Probably didn't even inform them that, a homicide had taken place because they were trying to gather information or whatnot. Well, anyways, and they probably asked, have they seen anybody, that hasn't been coming suspicious or whatever. They probably brought my name up. Well, whenever I returned with Gary, and I guess the front desk clerk or whatever said that he's back or whatever.
Were you staying there?
No, I wasn't. I was just there visiting. But I returned after this.
How soon
Of
after
that-
this happened did you return?
I can't remember.
A day?
It was like
2
maybe
days?
a day. It was. I think I waited a day and then I ended up going back because I
And
thought
why would you go back?
that I was smarter than
Mm-hmm.
other people, and I figured that would make me look guilty if I didn't come back.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought if I go back, then that would exclude me because at that time, I had no intentions on doing the right thing.
Mhm.
I was trying to avoid all this, and then
When did you come down here?
they raided the room that me and Gary was actually in there getting high,
Mm-hmm.
and I heard it and felt it, anyways, and then sure enough, they came in the room or whatever, and they ended up bringing us down here.
And what did they ask you when you came down here?
They didn't say nothing about a homicide, but the front of the thing said homicide division, I guess.
What did they ask you about?
They just asked me, I guess, general questions. That part is vague, very vague. I know that whenever we left out of here, and the guy found out I smoked, and he took me outside and he talked to me, and he wanted to know my story. He wanted to know who I was, who my parents was, and that's when I told him that we got off into the situation or conversation that I was adopted, and how he replied about how I was raised and this and that, But anyways, to make a long story short, that became like the biggest topic,
Mhm.
and it wasn't, I guess they, the questions that they asked me while I was over there, like basically what my business was over there, and that I can recall, and how I knew Gary.
Okay. Now they brought you and Gary in at the same time and talked.
They did.
So you say 17 years ago, so this would have been,
2001 or 2002.
do you remember what time of year it would have been?
Right after December, January, February, probably between January and February. I would say.
And
Maybe.
Why do you say January and February?
Well, because I can remember whenever I was in Orange Park, or Middleburg, they had Christmas tree lights
Okay.
up, and then so I would say probably January or February.
So
And
you
I'm
were in,
wanting to say in February I ended up getting arrested because it was like right after that. Because I even told them, I said, look, I said, if y'all not locking me up for anything, which they found like paraphernalia,
Mhm.
and they told us, they said, we're not here for that, and I think I even had a probation violation waiting, pending or whatever, a warrant for me, and they still let me go. But I told them then that I said, look, man, I'm supposed to be going out of town. I'm just giving you a heads up,
where did you get arrested after this?
I got arrested in Waycross, Georgia. Actually, me and Gary got arrested in Waycross for
When that
check
was?
fraud. I'm wanting to say that it was in February.
So it wasn't very long after?
It was no. It was immediately. Matter of fact, it was like immediately after.
Okay. So going back towards the beginning of your story, you're in Middleburg, and all that happens, and you get arrested for driving on a suspended license and all that. When was that?
That was way before.
What's way before?
Well, I'm saying like probably within like a couple months frame.
That's what I'm saying. So you got arrested then, would have been. How long were you in jail? Do you remember?
Just a few days.
Okay.
And I ended up getting out. I can't even remember if I bought. That's what I'm saying, man.
And then you ended up coming to Jacksonville, right? After that.
Right. No. I was actually staying in Middleburg
Right.
whenever I got arrested. I
Right.
just went to Moultrie to, I guess, to visit my ex-wife,
Mm-hmm.
and I ended up coming back. And on my way back, I'd have made it our way here, and I
Okay.
ended up getting pulled over in Norris Park.
Okay.
But I mean, as far as the month goes, and you know, it's like within, like I said, like 2 months, everything happened so fast. You know
Yeah.
that
What's the most serious thing you've been in prison for?
I've got a rap sheet probably.
Yeah, but what's most serious?
The serious.
The serious crime you've done that you've been incarcerated for?
Probably burglaries. I got out in 2014 for burglary on an occupied dwelling. That's probably the most serious thing that I've been charged with. A lot more than that,
Mm-hmm.
and
What's the most violent crime you've done besides this?
that was probably one of the most violent crimes I ever did. And I had sticky fingers from a young age, and
Gotcha.
I mean, it started. We talking about kindergarten.
Mm.
I was sick, you know, and that's played a big part. And then whenever I started smoking or using drugs or whatever, I would resort to that because that's what I knew
Right.
throughout my whole life, you know. So whenever I got out this last time, I just made a pact that I was going to live an honest life, and that's what I did.
Mm.
And I think this is, you know, regardless of whatever the circumstance may be, you know, that I can accept that. You know I can leave this earth knowing that I did the best.
Mm-hmm. Do the right thing.
I mean, I can't change what happened,
You ever
but
robbed
I could
anybody
bring.
else?
I did.
You've robbed since then?
No.
So
No,
this happens and
in New Orleans, I ended up robbing somebody there, and I just hit him, and then I took his wallet, and then I went and I never got called for that, but I'm just, you know, declared to, you know, be honest. Yeah, I mean that's the only other person I mean, as far as like house burglaries, I was a sneaky coward.
Mm-hmm.
I would try to steal behind the person's back, you know, robbing somebody point blank. It just, that wasn't, it was too scary, I guess, you know. And I mean, I would rather, when you wasn't looking, just take your stuff and break into your house. Whenever I was doing those things.
And I'm going to ask you again on Florida Avenue. You're positive it's on Florida?
I remember. That's
What,
one thing. I just, why, I don't know. I just know it was on Florida Avenue.
Do you know any other streets around Florida Avenue?
I don't. That's the crazy thing. But I mean, it's, I can promise you it's on Florida Avenue.
Okay.
It's like, I'm wanting to say it's on the corner, right there on the corner. It probably intersects another street right there, but it's on Florida Avenue.
Mm-hmm. And how old is Gary?
I have no idea.
Is he older than you? Is he younger than you? About your age?
He was probably a little bit younger than me, maybe even the same age as me.
You said you Googled him?
I did. I Googled him, and he's got I read about it, and I'm wanting to say it was up north.
Do you remember any of the other people you hung out with?
That's the only person. And why I remember his name like that is probably because we got arrested together.
Mm-hmm.
But for
You're
some
just in
reason,
Waycross, right?
that has been. No, he was from here.
But
Or actually, he wasn't
didn't
originally from here. He was staying here. He was living in that building.
You're on Florida Avenue?
Yeah.
Oh.
But I was reading what he did.
What did he do?
Up north.
No, after this is
Mhm.
transpired,
Oh,
I
okay.
guess he what he's in prison for right now. And it's almost the same thing. It just made me sick, you know.
What did he do?
He killed a girl. I mean, are you not finding it?
My internet's not.
We'll go down.
Working.
We'll step out. Tell you what, let's go step out for a little bit, get on our computers, and see what we can find.
How did he kill the girl?
I can't remember. I read it, and this isn't easy.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
You know, it's not. I can sit here, and try to be straight faced as much as possible,
No, I don't
but it's run is the easy part. Turning yourself in, and I mean, it's just like I said, it's just
What's going on in your life right now?
change is a big part. Like I told you, I want to leave this earth knowing that I was able to overcome a lot of my demons, that I've had from an early age. And since I've been out this last time, like I said, I've been living an honest life, regardless, if I'm not trying, I'm happy with myself. I'm not happy for the things I've done,
No, I get what you're saying.
but I'm happy
Where you're at right now, as far as your
as
sobriety.
far as I can.
Right.
Not even just the sobriety. That's a big key. But I'm just saying the honesty. I even try to give back to, try to help people out when I can. The same way that because people never stopped helping me, even whenever I was doing these things. And it's like a lot of times I would just take and and not knowing what I was taking or who I was taking from and what kind of impact that it was having on them. And then, people would, out of kindness, give to me, and I didn't really have that appreciation there. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyways, so, whenever I tried to help out like another homeless person now or whatever, regardless if he goes and spends that money on drugs, I did my part, is the way I feel,
Mm-hmm.
So, but I want to leave this place knowing that I did the best that I could, regardless of whatever it may be, and that I faced up to, the things that I've done. I know this is just man's law, but I mean, still, it's got to have some kind of impact when I get to wherever I'm going.
And you said you told your son?
Oh yeah, I told my ex-wife, my son, that was trying to tell me.
When did you tell them?
Right before I got here, I was telling them where the Jeep was parked, and
You tell him on the phone, or did you tell him in
I
person before you?
I text him, because it was easier for me to, I just knew that they was going to try to talk me out of it, and which they did. They still, even while I was sitting out there in the lobby, they was still telling me, no, just get back in your Jeep and come home. You done paid your price.
Is that the first time you've ever said anything to them?
About this.
Have you ever told
They
anybody else?
I told my sister. That's the only other and then my nephews or whatever. My sister's 2 kids or whatnot.
When did you do
Well, I
that?
told one of them. And I think that's because my sister had told him. I don't remember how it came up. And I told him that I wanted to turn myself in then, and I let my sister talk me out of it. And
How long ago was that?
this is before I took off to Tennessee, so we're talking about like maybe a year and about a year and a half, I would say.
What's your sister's name?
Sherry Goddard.
Sherry.
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 SHERRY. Goddard.
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 Where does she stay?
17. What is it? 17985 US Highway 31.
Oh, in Tennessee?
in Coleman, Alabama.
Coleman, Alabama. That's it. 31.
31. Lot 1.
You told her a year ago.
It was probably like I think it was whenever I was living in California. I got out on the last charges, and I've always grew up in a Christian home, and I was baptized once before, but I didn't believe like I ended up coming to believe. But anyways, and then I ended up getting baptized in California, and then I still messed up. You know what I mean, as far as using drugs or whatever. But as far as like robbing or stealing, or, that part of me had changed, and I ended up finally getting clean for sure, and sober, and honest, and and I think I tried to tell my sister then that I wanted to get myself, turn myself in. I told her the things that I did, and I don't even think I went in explicit detail. I mean, I just told her, basically that I had a drug habit and I ended up killing somebody to get high. And
Who's your ex-wife?
Belinda Gibson.
And she's at that address in Moultrie, right?
In Moultrie, yes.
If you walked out of here today, where would you go stay at?
I don't plan to walk out of here today.
I'm just saying, if you did, where would you go? Where would you stay?
I don't want to walk out of here today.
Where are we
Why
staying
is
at?
I'm ready to get this over with behind me.
Where were you at before you came in here tonight?
I was at work. I went and worked so I could make the money to come here.
Where were you working at?
I went and worked for this lady, pressure washing her front porch, her back porch, and then raked a little bit of leaves and stuff, and the outside of her house. Made $50. Went cashed it at her bank. I have no idea. All I know is my son. The night before yesterday, they told he was doing work for him, and this guy was like a ordained minister or something like that. But anyways, ex or not ordained. My bad. I take that back. That's enough for me. But anyways, he was a pastor, and evidently, Caden's my son has been working for this guy part time and whatnot. Well, anyways, and my son just got a job working at Burger King in Moultrie, and he knew that I wanted to stay around there. I wanted to do this, but at the same time, I've been postponing it, and I know, even 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, it's not going to be easy on none of us, and it's like, I could see my son going down the same road as me. He just quit smoking meth. His teeth started rotting out. He's fixing to be 19 next month.
What's his date of birth?
He was born 2000, March 10th, 2000. And
You drove up into Jacksonville today?
oh yeah, as soon as I left work, I went and cashed a check and I came straight here.
From Moultrie right to here?
Yeah. Okay. I got off at actually it was like 1 something, I don't know. I can't remember. But anyways, I got off as soon as I got off work. I went and cashed the check and I came straight here. Yeah. And they were texting me all on the way, and I wouldn't answer the phone because I already know that I couldn't let them be like, I want this to be behind me. I want his family to have resolution.
Gotcha.
Even if they, I couldn't ask them to forgive me for this, but I mean, at least they know what happened. You know what I mean? he deserves that.
Yeah,
It's
Caden's phone number's in your phone and everything?
Oh yeah.
You okay with us looking at it?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do some digging in this and we'll be right back in, all right? You good with the water?
I'm fine.
Okay. If you need anything, just knock on that door. Okay.
Unless I got something for aspirin. I mean,
Oh, a headache or something?
Yeah.
I sure don't. Call and talk to Kate, your son, and all that stuff, just to verify everything as far as what the status, as far as you being there with him left today. I think he said that you'd just drop him off from work, or picked him up from work, dropped him off, or something like that.
So I took him to work this morning.
That's
and
it,
then-
yeah.
And then I went straight to work at 9.
Okay.
He had to be there at 8.
Okay, all right. They said something also about, I asked him who else we talked. There's Adriana Colleen.
That's
like
who
a
I've been
niece or
staying
something.
with.
Okay. Okay. We just want to go through some more questions with you, see what, while you're sitting here, have you thought of anything else, any more details?
And,
Or
I'm gonna be honest with you, I got this screaming headache. And
Gotcha.
it's I think it's just stress.
Oh,
Yeah.
I gotcha. That's understandable.
Probably a little bit. I mean,
it's
not
pounding,
that.
it's coming and going, and I mean it's eased up a little bit, but it's I don't know. Ever since the closer I got here,
Mm-hmm.
'cause I mean, I got a part of me that don't want to be here
Mm-hmm.
and didn't want to do this at all, and then I got a major part of me that does, you know.
Oh, I got you.
I think
And
that's
it's like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. My son was 2 when the last time I seen him. He don't remember me, and I didn't want to re-enter his life, and which I never really. I mean, I thought about it. I thought like when this day comes, the effect that it was going to take. But I don't know. It's now that it's happened. I knew that there wasn't no easy way to walk away from. And I mean, I don't know. It's
I think you said it right earlier. You want to show him
right.
The right path.
That's the main thing.
Right.
I just I didn't know that he was messing with meth, and I heard that he was smoking weed every once in a while. The world tolerates that and accepts that.
Right.
I mean, a drug is a drug, and
It
I mean,
leads to other things.
Exactly.
well, I mean, not even just that. Anything that intoxicates your
Mhm.
brain, because I know what weed does to me. I can't function.
Mhm.
I can't.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, when that 9/11 hit, while that was going on, I fell off a ladder because I was high on weed.
Gotcha.
I can't function. I was at the top of a gable and
Ooh.
I thought I was just imagining it,
Yeah.
and it was really happening, and then I ended up falling. But and if it does me like that, I mean, some people's tolerance, but anything that impairs the brain, from thinking, is a drug. My sister, she's spiritual, and she smokes, and I don't have no comprehension of it. But she's telling me that this is some kind of hemp. It's not a drug.
Mhm.
But why are you smoking it then? It's not if it's not doing anything. But anyways, I don't mean to get off course.
No,
but anyways, I don't. I don't know what
Well, let's
the right way for this for my son. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Gotcha.
Let's back you up. Going back to what you came in here for, and going over that night
Right.
when you hooked up with Gary. Was Gary staying at that place?
He lived there.
He lived there. So, and he knew this guy?
Yeah, he knew him. Evidently, they had some kind of dealings or whatever. Because like I said before, he said that he was racist, and I don't know. I guess I can't sit here and say factually that I recall everything word for word and how it happened. But you know,
We're going to try to see if we can get you to remember things.
As I recall it, that evidently they had some kind of discrepancy.
Okay.
And which I guess when we set off our master game plan or whatever it was that we was thinking, that we was just gonna rob somebody, I guess he became the candidate because of whatever he said,
Did Gary know that he had stuff in his room, or that
he didn't ever imply? And you know what?
Well, what was the intention to go rob him of what?
Well, I think he did say that. That would, because I wasn't, regardless of the stupid things that I did, I wasn't completely stupid, and it's like, if I would have weighed out, I'm thinking, well, this isn't lucrative, or you understand what I'm saying. This isn't really a feasible hit, or whatever, if you're not going to gain anything. Which, you know what, this man died for nothing. I didn't get a dime out of that. No drugs, no nothing. And out of any, there was no money. He had a credit card, and I was so stupid on crack. I tried to go to the store and because I found some numbers in this little wallet thing. He had no money, but he had a credit card that evidently he didn't have anything on it or anything.
Do you remember what kind of credit card it was?
I don't.
Do you remember what kind of store you went to?
It was a regular convenience store, a little ATM that they had right there, and I know they got that little camera that sits right there. That's what I'm saying. This is how.
But No. I totally get it. Right.
But I knew that they had cameras on it.
But it still didn't.
It didn't matter to
because
me. That's how stupid I was, and so
like you said earlier, you thought you were better than that. You were ahead of that.
Even so, look at the careless things that I was doing. But
did you do it that night? Or that same day, or?
I think it was that morning, right after. It could have been like soon as we. But anyways, I guess we went back. All right, when I went back, he was, like I told you, he was tied up. I untied him. I got my wheels started turning, and I said, and I was like, this is just gonna make things look that much worse, if I did get caught. So I untied him, and then we left back out, and I'm thinking that might have been whenever we tried to use that ATM card or something. But I disposed of the evidence in a drain gutter.
And, what evidence you talking about?
Whatever I tied him up with or whatever, because I knew it would probably have.
Did you remember doing anything else? I
don't. Well, I know that we was like walking for a while, and then we ended up coming back. I guess he might have thought that he can get something on him. This is what happened. Well, I can't say for certain, but I think that whenever I had him on the bed or whatever, he left that whole situation to me.
Mm-hmm.
He got whatever it is that he was going in there.
He did the rummaging and grabbing shit.
Right. Because, he was like, oh, let's go. And then we ended up going. But yet later, he disappears for a while. So
let me back you up. Like we were at. So the plan was, did he stay? Was Gary's room on the same floor?
It wasn't on the same floor. I do know that.
Okay.
I can't remember it. I know it wasn't on the same floor though.
Because the old man was up on the second floor.
For some reason, it's wanting to. I don't know. Yeah, I think he was up above him.
Above Gary?
I think he was.
Okay.
And we ended up going.
So the plan was to go rob, and you go there, and the way you explain it sounds like you were standing outside the door, and he went in. So were you kind of the lookout? Because you said there was a lot of people.
Not so much as a lookout. It's like, I guess that's how we planned this. Like.
Do you remember?
He said, "Let me go in here," and I guess whatever it was, like I said, I can't. I don't want to lie. you know, and
No.
make up something and put some, you know, and y'all put something down that, you know, that's, you know,
Right.
he went in to, I guess, set it off or, you know, put it into action. And then I ended up following up by opening the door when I heard the noise. And
what noise did you hear?
it sounded like people fighting.
Fighting.
You know?
Okay.
And well, I mean, I knew that's what it was.
Right.
But
Right.
anyways, and I opened the door and I shut the door as quickly as I could, and I just wanted it to hush up, you know.
And when you open the door, what do you see?
I seen Gary and that guy like face to face, and it's like, I guess, you know, and I'd be sitting here lying if I said I seen like blows, but I mean, he had him. He evidently he had him to the point to where he could throw blows.
Who?
Gary.
Okay.
But he stunned hit him a few times.
Hit the old guy?
I'm sure he did.
Okay. Do you remember seeing blood or anything?
I can't remember.
Okay.
I can't remember.
And so you're seeing the fighting.
No, I didn't see the fight. I
Well,
just seen. You're
when
right. When I opened the door,
they're locked up, right?
right. See, I think he was making some kind of noise.
Okay.
I'm sure he was. You know. And like you know, he had been making some kind of noise because when I grabbed him, you know, he
How did you grab him?
around his neck.
Around his neck. Around his neck. One hand. Did you hold him up against the wall? Did you put him down on the bed, or did you just
Straight to the bed. I never let him. He didn't have a chance.
So one hand. He's on the bed.
They were pretty good for he was far from the bed. He was pretty good distance from the bed. He was probably like from it's closer to that bathroom, but you know, he was a good distance away from the bed. I mean, because whenever I literally walked in, they were right at the door.
Okay.
I didn't have to take but maybe 1 or 2 steps, and I was like right at him. But I just knew that I had to hush him up.
Mm-hmm.
And I grabbed him, and I went, like I said, he was thrown off, his body weight was thrown back, so he was easy to walk towards the bed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So we kind of stumbled onto the bed, and then I guess that's when I just held him down or whatever, and tried to restrict the oxygen.
Okay. Do you remember what he was wearing?
I don't.
Okay. Do you remember what you were wearing?
I don't.
Do you remember?
I know that he had some Timberland boots, and I know
Who did?
Gary, and I can't. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I know he let me wear those boots, like one time, or maybe it was whenever I came up here. I don't know.
What happened to those boots?
I think he still had them whenever we left because they took our shoes at the door, and I was like, yeah, they check him for like.
What, out there when they were talking to you all?
Yeah, whenever they made us come in here.
Oh, whenever they brought
shoes,
you down here, they were checking shoes.
So when I came in here, that my boot, my every
And they never said anything about the murder or anything.
They never.
They never asked if you heard anything.
They didn't say murder, homicide. They didn't.
Did they say, did you hear anything this night, or did you hear anything, or people talking? I mean, you don't remember questions like that?
I can't remember.
Okay.
Like I said, the only thing I really remember talking about is like my how I met, or like why am I with Gary, you know?
Mm-hmm.
How y'all hooked up, how y'all
right.
met.
So evidently I told him something, and probably some of it was truth and some of it was a lie. That's just the way I lied. I'd put truth with lie.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So, and you, like you said, you left.
I ended up leaving, and matter of fact,
Is that?
You talking about when I left here? Or
No, I mean, pretty
When
much
I-
staying on the same incident. You left that night. I'm assuming. Is that when you had the
When
credit
after
card?
this is up.
Yeah, after the strangulation, and then you guys. Do you go back down to Gary's room?
You know what? I think we went and tried that card like right after this happened or whatnot, and then we found out it wouldn't work. So we went back to Gary's room.
Okay.
Probably later. It had to be later because I know we went back to Gary's room, and then I think I told him that we needed to go back and like get rid of the evidence or whatever. And then I got the evidence, and I think.
So you went back into his room?
Yeah, we went back. We went back and took the evidence back.
What did you take?
It was like whatever I bound him with. I'm pretty sure it was a sock.
And you said you had his wallet?
I didn't ever have his wallet. He had a wallet, an empty wallet that was sitting down there. Now, what if there was something in that wallet before whatever happened with me and him? You know why he was because he was.
But you remember the card being in that wallet, right?
It was in that wallet.
Okay.
But there was numbers like it was written down on a piece of paper, and that's the
someone
only
would write
reason
their
I would have
pen
took
or
that.
something like that.
But it was taken.
Right, and that's
Did you come back and take that?
no.
Or did you take it
the first time?
the first time you took
The first time.
it? And then,
So
yeah, okay,
that's probably
you
when
said
we
that's
left.
when you went. Okay. All right. So
I'm thinking that's when we left. Is we went to use the car, and then we came back. I'm thinking we went to Gary's room for just a minute, and I stressed on that we needed to go back and like clean up the evidence or whatever.
did you clean up?
Yeah.
Wipe anything down? Cover anything up?
No, I
Cover
just
him
grabbed,
up?
I don't remember. I know I grabbed what he was bound with.
Okay.
Because it just didn't look right. Still don't look right.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I can't forget.
Mm-hmm.
What did Gary say? Did you guys talk about it?
No, there wasn't no talking.
No?
No.
Do you remember him being injured at all? Any scrapes, cuts?
I don't. You know, I'm gonna tell you something. I had him pinned whenever I first met him. I didn't know him from nothing. But I knew the extremity of, how the level that he would take something.
Yeah.
And didn't even have to ask him. That's why I knew, like, and like we just first meet or whatever, and you can get your assumptions or try to read somebody or whatnot, but that was just, and he didn't walk around like that. I mean, you look at him, clean cut, probably could get a job anywhere, or back then, I'm not sure what he looks like now, but, he wasn't illiterate, but I knew that, I knew he would kill you. I knew he would.
Mm-hmm.
And that never been said, between the two of us. We never talked about none of that before. That wasn't like something I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
That just happened, and it certainly wasn't planned like that.
Do you remember how old he was, the guy?
I don't.
No.
I'm thinking that he was probably. I'm not sure if he was older than me or not. Okay. You couldn't find him on Google?
You talking about Gary?
Yeah.
No,
we're talking about
the guy.
victim.
Yeah.
Oh, the older guy?
Yeah.
No, he's an older guy. He was I don't know. I would say that, guessing my age right now, I would say that he was probably at least late 50s.
You remember anything about his room? Anything? Had you been in his room before?
No.
That was the first
Never.
time you'd seen him?
Time.
Do you remember anything distinctive about his room?
I just remembered his rooms. Whenever we walked in, I want to say there was a closet to the left, or there was like a closet to the left. There was like a little, like a little nightstand, and that's where that wallet was, right to the right of the door, as soon as you walk in. And beyond that, following the same wall, was like there was a bed that was sitting right there, and I want to say that there was a window. That's about the only
You think
thing
you could draw it?
I probably can. This being the door
Mm-hmm.
opening,
Opens into the room.
this is your door casing.
Okay.
This is the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you open the door, I would say the room was set up like this.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that there was a window somewhere on this far wall. His bed, I remember, was it was like long ways, like that.
Mm-hmm.
There was like a little nightstand. Here.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that there was like a little refrigerator right here. I think there was a little refrigerator right there. Matter of fact, I think I drank something out of that refrigerator
What'd you
because
do?
I was thirsty. I don't know.
Did you leave it there or did you take it with you?
I think I left it there.
Can you write refrigerator there and then that's where his bed's at? And then that's his bed there? Okay.
I want to say that there was a window right here. I don't want to write one down.
Right. That's okay. That's okay.
But there, I'm most certain there was a little closet or something right here. I think that's it.
That's good. That's fine.
That's the hallway. This is the door that opens.
Do you
Or
remember?
actually, I think it's the other way.
Okay.
I think it opened this way. That's I'm sure it did. It opened,
The opposite way?
yeah,
Still inward, but the opposite way.
right. The
Okay.
doorknob's right here, and then this is the door, and it went this way. When it opened, like you would have opened it.
And where would the stairs have been?
I don't know.
Okay.
I can't remember none of that.
But you said it was on the corner. The place was on a corner, right?
I want to say it was on the corner.
Mm-hmm.
That, I mean,
Do you remember the color of the building?
you asked me that.
Yeah.
I think if I was a guessing person, I would say that it was white and with brick columns.
Okay.
Or brick at like knee high or something.
Mm-hmm.
But something wants to tell me that it was white.
Okay.
It was an older style, like apartment or whatever. I sit here and try to replay and rethink, and it's like, And what I don't want to do is like.
And I don't want you to guess. I mean,
Right.
I want you to, and you're doing fine. You're
Right.
doing fine. I don't want to put words in your mouth. I don't want you to guess.
I know, but see, there's a and it's like some of it I can't answer for.
Mhm.
I don't know if you ever heard of like when people do ecstasy, they call it rolling or whatever. Well, where they say that you're blowing up, it's basically like when you take breaths, like it's called hyper. I forget what's it called, but anyways, you take like 10 deep breaths real fast, and you hold your breath, and then somebody grabs you right here, and then they pass you out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've ever heard of it done, but people do that. Well, I used to do something basically on the same lines. I smoke, hold my breath, and this is before. But anyways, and I passed out, and this happened a couple times in the bathroom. But this bathroom wasn't located in his room.
Mm-hmm.
It was like maybe down the hall or something
Mm-hmm.
from his room. And I try to tie, like the incident, like I went to his room, and I ended up going to his bathroom, and because it was like when we was at his house, I don't know if that was before or after, but I know, because I hit my head on the wall. You know what I mean? I woke up or not really woke up, but
Mm-hmm.
I passed out.
Yeah.
But in my head, I put a knot on my head, I hit the wall. And I don't know if that was before this incident or after this incident, but I know that incident exists. You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I
I try
do.
to tie these in, like, and not just that. I'm just saying like other pieces of, I try to tie it in and put it up, make it all make sense, and the best I can because
Do you remember what time this happened?
it was it was late. Yeah, I know that it was dark time.
Dark time. Late at night, early morning.
Probably. I don't know. I don't know if it was like early morning quite yet, because evidently that convenience store was still open, and we went in. So I wouldn't think.
And you don't remember where the convenience store was at?
No, it couldn't have been too far though, from where we was at.
So was it just a convenience store? Did it have a gas station? Any pumps or anything, or just and you don't remember? That's fine. That's fine. But it was walking distance.
Had to be a convenience store like a gas station.
And was it light out? You was still dark out. You said,
It
right?
was dark.
Okay. All right. Okay. Was there anything else taken? Not so much out of that room, but maybe somewhere else in that boarding house. Money.
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. Any?
See, he told me that he evidently like he was behind on the rent or something. They done feuded before or whatever, and he said that was I think that's what.
And you say he meaning Gary?
Gary.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that was what he was going to use as the entrance to get in the room. Something on that lines or whatever, about the rent or something like that. Well, that got him in the door. But I mean, they started arguing right off, and it's like, and
Why would he go to this guy about being back on his rent?
I had no idea.
Did this guy
But
take
no,
care?
I'm saying he was like a manager or something there.
Okay.
He was either I'm not sure if he
And
was
I think
a
you did say
manager
that
or
in the beginning. You did say that in the
attendant.
beginning. Yes.
Like a landlord or
Yeah.
something like that. What you
But
said.
he lived there.
That's right. Yes.
He lived there.
I remember you saying
And
that.
I mean, I sit here and try to put a reason behind it. Like why did we even come up with that?
Mm-hmm.
And I can't say, and truthfully, that it was his idea. And trying to put the blame off on somebody else, because I swear, I don't know. I don't know who, but I know that after I grabbed him, Gary didn't touch him no more. And I know I was responsible for what happened to that man.
Did Gary afterwards say, "Man, I can't believe he did that. What the fuck
didn't-
happened?"
There wasn't
nothing. There was no discussion
conversation about it. You know, even whenever they pulled us down here,
Uh-huh.
I don't. You know what? I think when we left his house, they put us in the police car, and they put us in the police car together. And you know, I just I just knew or felt that because I know they had cop cams or whatnot, and I figured they had mics or whatnot. So I told as soon as I got in there, without saying, "Hey Gary, shut up, don't say nothing," because they got cop cams. I kind of like I don't know, I guess started playing a role or whatever, and let him read between the lines, and then we ended up. They left us in there for a while, and then they ended up transporting us down here. And then they separated us. I came over here, and he went somewhere over there. But I could hear him because he was so geeked up. He was making these little noises with his throat, like sound like a.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Well, he wouldn't stop, and I'm like, So, but anyways, so they questioned us or whatever, and then they took us outside so we could smoke, or so I could, and he talked to me, the guy that was investigating me or talking to me. And we go outside and we talk, and then we came back in, and then they told me I was free to go. I told him, I said, I don't even have, I have no way of going or nothing,
Mm-hmm.
So he dropped me off. He drove me to the little homeless shelter right there off, where the bus station is?
Mm-hmm.
Right on the other side of that.
The detective did?
The detective did.
Which one do you remember?
I have no idea what his name is.
You remember that was the big guy that looked like Santa Claus?
Yep. They gave me a ride and dropped me off, and I told him, even on the way, I told him I knew I was going to be leaving, and I told him that I had a job or something probably out of town, which I knew that we were doing that check thing too. So
How soon after all this did you leave Jacksonville?
right out there, as soon as I could get a hold of Dante and Terrence.
Who's Dante and Terrence?
That was people that was doing the check.
That's the other part of the group.
Well, they didn't have nothing to do with it. They didn't even know nothing. Matter of fact, I don't even think they don't know nothing about this at all.
These are the people that you hooked up with when you came in, and then you
doing
ended up
the checks,
right, and then you ended up hooking up with Gary somehow.
Well, see, I hadn't been with them long. I mean, I only cashed like maybe just like a couple checks, or something like that. But anyways, and then we tried to pass one off, I guess, at a liquor store, and the guy was suspicious, and he called the cops. Well, we was already driving down the road whenever they pulled us over, and then
That's in Georgia.
I was wearing, I guess, a Coca-Cola whatever uniform, and that's what was cashing Coca-Cola check. But anyways,
that's in Georgia. That's when Gary was with you.
Gary was with me, Terrence and Dante.
And you all went to jail at that time.
Went for printing and executing fictitious checks.
When did you and Gary kind of go your separate ways?
That was the last time I seen him.
Okay.
No, whenever I got locked up, we was there for months and months and months, and they ended up putting me on trustee, and I would see him from time to time because I would go to different pods or whatnot, and but as far as ever talking about this, that was just something that we didn't do. I mean, it just didn't have to,
There's a weight cross that y'all got stopped.
Weight cross.
Okay.
I had to ask you.
Worth County, I think.
Did you read this? Did you find this? Because you said you searched for Gary, you found him on Google. Did you Google this and find this information? And
No.
like I said, I gotta ask you this.
No, I understand.
Okay, it's not every day we get somebody that wants to come in and do this.
No, I don't want to do this.
We've had-
that's
well-
not.
I mean, we've had people come in and do it, and it's their story doesn't match up. They want, you didn't find this on the internet and claiming this.
It's not something to be proud of. It's definitely not where I want to be right now.
I understand.
Anything else you can think of?
No,
You get
I
something to
would-
eat? You want a snack maybe?
I don't. You know what? I'm so hungry that I think I probably throw up if I eat. I just feel sick right now.
Okay.
So I'm
You got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Hey, Kenny, we found the case you were talking about. Okay. And we were able to match up a lot of the stuff that you were saying. So, this actually occurred on Market Street, but it was on a corner, just like you described it, the building and everything. Question I have to ask you. You remember taking any keys out of his room?
Keys.
Mm-hmm.
No.
There was a lockbox in the office with some cash that was missing that morning. That's how this all started. So the lady who manages the office came in, and the locks were only one of them was engaged. She
That's
found the
what he was
missing.
doing.
You think Gary took all that?
I know it did.
Okay.
How do you know? I mean,
Because he was too smooth about it. He was like, that's exactly what it did.
You
Yeah.
you came back and you said you were smoking in the room when the police came in and took everybody downtown. Do you remember where you would have gotten the money to buy?
You know what? I don't know.
excuse me.
Cause see, he said a couple times, right? That he might can score something or whatever, like on the front or whatever. So, he was a real quiet person. I mean, you'd have to know what I'm talking, like know his character,
Mm-hmm.
and you just didn't really question him. You know what I mean? It's like, now that you said something though, I can guarantee that's what happened.
As far
Wow.
as the cash box and
Because
everything.
he was quick. I mean, just as soon. Just as soon as I touched that guy, he was gone. I mean, he would. That guy was no more concerned to him
Okay.
at all. And like you said, he came up with something,
Mm-hmm.
and that stuff just don't. It don't grow on trees. I mean,
Mhm.
he came up with something, and I mean, it's just because see that had always made me wonder. I always thought about that, but I thought it was drugs. I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought that guy was probably using or
Mhm.
whatever because, I don't know. I something in my mind just tells me that he was like little, like he was a user or something, and I believe that.
Okay. All right. I didn't know if you remember that. I brought it to your attention.
No, I don't remember that.
That's
but
why
I'm
I wanted
saying-
to bring
No,
that.
I know for sure that I didn't
Okay.
have his keys, but I mean, as far as me even having recollection of him having keys, but I can almost guarantee that that's what happened. Because he had an agenda. He had an agenda, and then there wasn't. And it wasn't. I think it was a lot more than to it. But I know my part in it, and I know what I did. And I know it wasn't right.
We're gonna go ahead and charge you with the murder. Okay.
In the end, despite Kenny implicating other individuals in the crime, he was the only one charged and convicted of second-degree murder. The court ordered him to pay $668 in fees. He also has to serve a 21.5-year prison sentence in the Florida Department of Corrections. Crime Circuit. Like, share, subscribe.